we thought we'd try and do a bit of a wrap up of 2025, which is a bit difficult because it's hard to give like a top five bikes because I've ridden so many bikes and so many bikes are great in so many ways. So for me, what makes a bike great is a moment and a situation. So I'll give you an example. So we was with Indian in Vegas at the start of the year. We was riding in the deserts out there around, is it Death Valley or something like that? And on that big Chieftain with a stereo blazing, that big V-twin, in those conditions, on those roads, in America to ride a big Indian, then there was no other bike that I wanted to be on. And then you move on to the World Superbike test in Cremona, where I got to ride Top Rack's BMW, which is arguably the best World Superbike of the moment. And I got to do a handful of laps in front of the World Superbike team on the actual World Superbike on the bike that Top Rack was riding, which is just mind-blowing and a dream come true for any World Superbike fan, which kind of I was back in the 90s, which is why I've got a Ducati back here. So how do you compare Top Rack's bike to a Chieftain? And then you look through the other bikes that I've rode this year and the trips that I've done. So we did an amazing trip with Bridgestone recently to Thailand, which was just really memorable to have 2 days on track. Just come back from America with Triumph. Love riding in America, love being in America. Rode the new Ducati Multistrada, rode the Rally, and we rode that in northern Italy, and the weather wasn't brilliant, but it showed how great that bike is in those conditions. And all through the year there's been so many memorable, really awesome bikes, and it's difficult to just pick one or two, because sometimes the bike not might be memorable, but the trip was, or it's the people that I share this journey with. So yeah, it's difficult, but for me, I'm going to pick 3 bikes that I think are really important for next year and for this year. And for me, that is KTM's 990 RCR, Ducati's Panigale V2, and Yamaha's R9. Now, for me growing up, I always loved the Supersport class. That was my class. Like, I wasn't that drawn towards big thousands, especially when I did a little bit of racing. I did a little bit of the Northwest and the TT, and I always preferred the 600s. And everybody was saying the 600 market is dead, Supersport's dead. It was all gloom and doom. And then 3 manufacturers have come back with 3 different options for that kind of new Supersport class, which has given that class a real kick in the arse. For me, it's great to see that KTM are back. I went over to see the MD, went over to Matterhofen, went to see what's happening with KTM, and it all looks really positive. And that 990 is a brilliant bike. More of a road bike than a race bike. I thought it was going to be radical, but it's more of a road bike than a race bike. Ducati did something amazing with the Panigale V2. I did a test with a 955 against the V2. The V2 doesn't have the torque and the top end power, but it's so much easier to ride, especially on the road. I've ridden that bike with Termes on it in Misano. I've rode it on track. I've rode it on the road, and I love the V2. And then Yamaha with the R9, again, we rode that on the same track that we've ridden all 3 on. It's difficult to compare all 3 because different tyres, different circumstances, different weather. I want to get all 3 together, but that's difficult for me working on my own. But what a phenomenal way to start off next year, that those 3 bikes are now kicking off the world, Supersport, and Supersport is back and alive. Other bikes that have really kind of shown my interest, BMW's RT. I mean, that thing is just riddled in technology. If I was going to do some big miles around Europe, that would be my first choice, even over some of the big tourers. So much tech, but still handles, still sporty, still fun, still enjoyable to ride. I rode BMW's 1300 GS with Bridgestone. Was that the start of this year in Croatia? And that was great when it was actually on road tyres rather than off-road bias tyres. Done a lot of work over at the TT, had a real giggle with John McGuinness. Me and him went out on CB350s and just had fun around the Isle of Man. At the Isle of Man, John's loving his CB350. And And then you guys seem to love the content on my little ZX4RR and my own Transalp, which I was really surprised by, which is the great bit of having this little channel on the side, is that things that I thought would be amazing, like racing at Goodwood. We are at Goodwood Revival. Got no views and no hits, even though I was racing with world champions in the wet. What do you reckon, mate?
Loving it, mate. Can't wait.
And me doing 500 miles in a day on a 400 over to the Lake District gets loads of hits, and that's why I like this kind of interaction. If you're going to go touring, there's some brilliant bikes out there. Probably not on the top of your list is a ZX4RR that revs to 16,000 RPM and is a little 400. So for next year, I've got a new Transalp, so expect a new Transalp video. I've got loads of Triumph stuff coming from America. I've still got my little ZX4RR. We're hoping to take that on a little supermoto track soon, or get that on track once the weather improves a bit. I've got a lot of stuff coming up in January, February. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be busy. But please let us know what you want to see on this channel. You know, do you want to see more how-tos? Do you want to see more second-hand bikes? Do you want to see more real-world stuff? Do you want to see me trying to restore an old Ducati? Please let us know, and thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing. Have a good new year. Don't do anything daft, and I'll see you in the next one. For me, what makes motorcycling special is there's a time and a place for every different bike, and it fits everybody.